What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas,
And I'm Timo.
and we're coming at you with another video today where we're going to be doing our divisional round bracket. Each round of the playoffs, except for, of course, the Super Bowl, we will be doing a bracket for the remaining teams in the playoff. So, with that being said, let's jump right into this one. I'll be doing my bracket first. Alrighty, so my prediction for the Ravens hosting the Texans is, of course, that the Baltimore Ravens are going to win. Those of you who watched our predictions video released yesterday, of course, going to know the first part of this. But regardless, then, of course, we got the Chiefs taking on the Bills in Buffalo. Going to be a cold one, but I've got the Buffalo Bills moving on to the conference championship round to take on the Baltimore Ravens. And of course, Bills, Ravens, going to have to play in Baltimore, and I think that Baltimore will be headed to the Super Bowl. So now let's, of course, head over to the NFC side of things. First things first, we got Green Bay taking on San Francisco. And I think that the San Francisco 49ers are going to get the win against the Green Bay Packers. The dream ends there for them. So, and Fran, to the conference championship round where I think that we'll face the Detroit Lions. I think the Lions are going to get the job done against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I've got them headed to the conference championship game, which they'll have to travel to San Francisco, or Santa Clara more specifically, to take on the 49ers, and I think that the Niners are going to be headed to the Super Bowl for a rematch against the Baltimore Ravens, a game they'll want revenge in, but I don't think they're going to get it. I have the Baltimore Ravens winning the Super Bowl over the San Francisco 49ers. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and pass this one off to T-Bone. T-Bone, go ahead and do your bracket.
Thank you so much, Vegas. All right. And looking at the AFC, we've got the Texans-Ravens game. I think that this is going to be a good game, and really it could go to either one, but I've got Baltimore making it out of that one. And looking at the Chiefs-Bills game, I think that Josh Allen and that Bills steamrolling is not going to stop, and I actually think Bills are going to make it back to the conference championship. And with that being said, I've got the Ravens unfortunately stopping the Bills' run, and I've got the Ravens making it to the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at the NFC now. Packers-Niners, I think it's going to be an interesting game, maybe even a close-ish game, but I've got the Niners. And with the Buccaneers-Lions, I think same thing here. It's interesting, very close game, but I've got the Lions. This is where I'm going to throw you for a loop. I've thought about it, deliberated. I actually have the Lions upsetting the 49ers and making it to the Super Bowl. And then I have the Ravens winning. You Lion fans can't be that lucky. Come on now. But no, I do actually think the Lions are going to upset the Niners, and then Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl, number 58. 58, yes.
Alrighty, that is it for bracket. Shadow, of course, is not back this week to continue competing, although I don't think, given how awful he was last week, went 2-4 with his predictions for the wild card round. I think he's okay with not showing his face for a while. But regardless, interesting that you've got the Lions beating the 49ers. Obviously, both of us have the same divisional round results, and it's all just higher seed wins, which kind of boring, but there's a reason a lot of these teams are higher seed versus lower seed. So, but there is potential for upsets. It's just I think we're both afraid a little bit to pick which one it'll be, because at the end of the day,
Oh, yeah.
we're trying to be like, when it comes to, especially our prediction videos, like,
Yep.
although at some point you're going to have to, if you have to differ from me at one point, because I am winning and there's only going to be, after this week, 3 more games. So it'll be interesting to
Yeah, we'll
see.
see.
But
We'll see.
you know, teams that are the team that is most equipped to go on a deep run is the Baltimore Ravens. There's a reason we both have them as our Super Bowl champions.
Yeah,
Although I do find it interesting, you have the Lions beating the 49ers. This is the first
I
time
do.
any of us have done that. It's
I
Last
do.
week it was all Niners, Ravens, Niners, Ravens, Niners, Ravens in the Super Bowl. This week I stuck with Niners, Ravens. You flipped the script. What did you see from Detroit against Los Angeles that made you think, okay, I think they're going to beat San Francisco?
Um, Really, I've got just a couple of things that I can point to. That being, I think the Rams are actually very, very good. And had it not been the Lions in the way, I think that they could have made a deep run as well. I think the Rams could have very well messed with the Niners. I think the Lions are good enough to deal with the 49ers, and I think if the 49ers are not in their flow, can absolutely be disrupted fully. So, and I think that Dan Campbell is ballsy enough, and their coaching is good enough, and Jared Goff is good enough. The rookies are good enough that they can do this. So, I don't know. I just see it. I think this is going to be one of those 49ers years where they're going to make it to the AFC or NFC conference uh, championship, and they're going to lose. I've got the Lions, and then I think the Ravens are. I think the Lions are good. I think the Ravens are the best team, and will prove that the best team is going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, there's a good reason why we both have Baltimore
Yeah, oh yeah,
winning. The one thing for me with San Francisco, though, is I would argue that San Francisco's Super Bowl window is smaller than Detroit's. Detroit has a better future. Now, obviously, you can't actually say that because everyone's like, oh, last year, like, oh, Philadelphia, they'll be a great future for a long time. But Philadelphia had an epic collapse this year, and it feels like they're going to have to tear everything down and start over the way they finished. So obviously, you don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But next year, the San Francisco 49ers are going to be in cap hell. And I don't see a realistic way in which they're able to keep all of the key pieces that have made them such a good football team. I feel like they're going to have to make some level of sacrifice. And so
I
for
agree.
them, this is their best chance to win a Super Bowl. Whereas Detroit, I don't know if anyone expected them to go this far. It almost felt like, okay, they'll win the division, they'll make the playoffs, maybe they'll win a playoff game, but are they going to good enough to beat the top dogs? No, maybe not, but next year they might be. Like, Detroit has the potential to be a very good team next year, and Dan Campbell's just done such a good job with them. I have a lot of faith in him that he's going to be able to, you know, bring the boys back next year, but it also means I have a lot of faith that he'll be able to make some stuff happen this year. So, Lions beating San Francisco, not out of the picture by a long shot. I think that San Francisco has a little more to play for. I also think they're just tired of falling just short. You saw what happened to them last year. They got all the way this far, and then the only two quarterbacks they had left on the roster end up getting hurt, and they have to have
Yep,
Brock Purdy with a negative arm handing
yep,
the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. They honestly would have been better off trying to get McCaffrey to throw the ball at that point in the game. Because Purdy tried a couple of throws, it didn't go well. So, and like they keep getting far and keep falling just short. They made the Super Bowl against Kansas City. We're up by 10. Fell apart, couldn't get it done. They've been so close. And they've just had such a tough time taking it. And I think they're starting to realize that, hey, our opportunity is closing. I think they're going to be a little more desperate for it, even though the city of Detroit has been deprived. And it's like the city of Detroit has been so deprived that, in fact, just the playoff win is enough to satiate their thirst. Especially given the future that this Lions team supposedly has ahead of them.
true, true.
So that's another angle to look at. I know obviously there's other ways where you can like look at it where, oh, the Lions could probably have more to play for, because they haven't done it well. Like, there's different ways of looking at it, and I understand that, and I don't fault you for looking at the way. That's just how I see the mentality of these two teams. But then again, Dan Campbell is also a pretty special human being So I have no doubt of his ability to motivate his troops. Like, that's the thing. Campbell isn't exactly an X's and O's guy. He is a leader of men. And that's what makes him great. And he trusts his guys on the X's and O's to do their job. Now, game management can be a little iffy. But, it's still good in there. So, Lions 49ers, I think, is going to be a great, great game.
Oh, very much so. I'm
But
very much looking forward to
regardless,
it.
I think it's going to be a fun playoffs no matter what happens. Any of these teams could win, and it'll be entertaining down the stretch. Although, except for the Chiefs, no one wants to see the Chiefs go far. Screw you, Kansas City. I mean, but regardless, lots of good teams, lots of good football left to be played, and I'm pretty excited. Please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to drop your own bracket or anything else you'd like. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.